So now that you know what Web Application Firewall is, let's see how we can enable it and how to configure it. So in order to enable it, we have already enabled during the Trusted Proxy module setup. However, if you do not have it enabled, all you have to do is log into the dashboard, scroll down, find your machine, and click on the cog icon. Then scroll down and find Web Application Firewall 2.0. As you can see, it's already enabled for us, so we will not enable it again. But if it's disabled for you, just click on this little icon and it should be enabled. So in the meantime, because Web Application Firewall 2.0 will take a few minutes to set up, it can be a few seconds as well, depending on how many IP addresses you have on your machine. However, if you have a lot of them, it will take some minutes even to set up, because it has to bind on every IP address. So what we can do in the meantime is just check the settings for this, and we will use nano as our favorite text editor, /etc/BitNinja/WAF manager, and then just config.ini and open it up. As you can see, it has a lot of settings, and we will not dabble into changing these, because the first few settings for the Nginx can break it, so it's not good. And you can see I have already modified a few things here, but by default, this is how your configuration file will look like. So the redirection mode is transparent by default, and it's highly recommended to leave it this way. However, if for some reason transparent proxy mode is not working as expected for you, BitNinja will fall back automatically to DNet, or you can manually change it if you have it set up that way and you would like to keep it. So, oops, not this. So all you have to do is put a semicolon to there. I cannot do that because it's broken for me, but let's do this, and let's just change it to DNet, and yep, let's go back here, and let's just change to DNet, and if you would like to save it, you can just save the modified buffer. So since I do not want to change it and I want to keep it transparent, I will keep it this way and just save with Control and X, press Y and enter. And it's very important to know that once you have made some changes, it's always a good idea to just restart BitNinja with service BitNinja restart, and that way it's making sure that you have applied the configuration. BitNinja will automatically apply most configurations as well when you change them. However, it's always just good practice to restart them whenever it's necessary. And so once it's set up, we are able to check it as well. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just see what settings we have on the dashboard for this module. So if we navigate to the firewall and then Web Application Firewall settings, we can see that this is disabled because still it's the attacker machine. We have to switch to the Ninja course. And since the module is enabled, we have this little screen. As you can see, I have already changed mine to high risk, high false positive rate, but by default, it will come as the lowest false positive rate, which is the recommended BitNinja settings. And it's highly recommended to leave it this way unless you're absolutely sure that you want to add some additional rules. So adding an additional rule is pretty simple. You have to click on the advanced settings and then either try and filter rules by, let's say, SQL, and then we can just see we have some SQL related rules, so we can enable this and enable this if we would like to. So let's say we are happy with this. We have enabled some SQL rules. We can just clear this and scroll to the bottom and click on save. We have added some SQL injection rules, so to defend our site more. And we can also see that we have forked some rules. So we have enabled 2 extra rules when compared to the recommended lowest possibility rate. You can see we have 2 forked rules. So this is one way of doing this. This is for a machine. A different approach is to create a new rule set for yourself. And you can do this by clicking on Manage Rule Set Templates. And we can just add our name. Let's say Ninja Course Test Rules. And then just, let's say we are starting off with the recommended rule set. So what we do is we select what rule set we would like to use and what rules we would like to use in this rule set. So let's just go with, I don't know. Oh, wait, we have to first add the new one. And then we have to click on this. Yes. So this way we can finally edit this. So let's just go, I don't know, enable some cross-site scripting like this, like this, like this. And also add some SQL injection like this and like this. So we save this. And then it has been updated, which is pretty good. So let's go back to the verification firewall patterns. Yes, and then we can choose this and click on our own Ninja Course test rules. It will give us a caution that you have forked the original rule set and added /removed rules. If you change the rule set template, these changes will be lost. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, we would like to continue. And we would like to save this. So what you have to keep in mind is that anytime you modify the default rule set, it will become more likely that it will generate false positives. So it's always a good idea to check if you modify a few rules or add a few, remove a few. You can simply just check if they have caused any false positives, and we will get into that, how to do that. However, if you are absolutely certain that that rule is necessary for you, you can just wait to enable it and also look after it. Another good way of testing if verification firewall would cause false positives is to change the challenge and gray list IP address into log-only mode. Log-only mode means it will not graylist the offending IP address, rather it will just show you in your network attacks that yes, we know this IP address have caused some troubles, and it would have been graylisted if you had this enabled, but right now it's not graylisted because I'm running in log-only mode, but here's what I have seen. And from that, it means you have no risk of false positives because verification firewall will simply not graylist the IP addresses. So if you have enabled some new rules, it's also good practice to start it in log-only mode for a few, I don't know, hours maybe, and check if any stuff pops up. There is also a few other options here, which is disable verification firewall for this domain pattern, which will simply just disable verification firewall for this domain pattern, which is the /, so it means all domains on your machine. Or you can also enable the lockdown feature. And once you click it, you will see lockdown. Would you like to set up the BitNinja high-risk rule set template along with the lockdown function? This may cause more false positive alerts, and current settings will be overwritten for this domain pattern. And we would click no, lockdown only, and we would click save. However, what you have to keep in mind is that lockdown is a last resort for defending your machine. What lockdown will do is it will prevent any post request from getting it onto your machine. So by post request, you can count on anything as a payment, as a search, anything that would post anything to your server, that will get blocked instantly. So this is a very, very last resort, because even though it will stop hackers from modifying your machine or your website, it will also block normal users from using the website normally. So this is a very, very last ditch effort. So let's say you have multiple domains on this machine and you don't want to enable the high-risk rule set for all of them. You want to have recommended on most of them with challenge and gray list IP enabled, and that's all you want. However, there is one client who you have, and they have, I don't know, the testsite.com. Let's see, .com / and star. You might notice that I'm typing a star, as in the example star, example.com / star. This means that star is a wildcard, so star could be anything, any length of characters, it doesn't matter. If it contains testsite.com, if it contains testsite.com / and then anything afterwards, it will be in this rule set or in this domain pattern. So let's add this and let's see. This person wants their site to be very, very secure and they asked you to enable high-risk rule set. You can do this simply by modifying this one. And so in this scenario, all of your other domains on this machine will be protected by the lower false positive rule set, which is the recommended one. And this only domain will have a high risk rule set, which is more secure, of course, but it has a higher false positive rate. So this way you can granularize what domains you want to protect more, what domains you want to protect less, and your users have also word in it if they would like to. And of course we can also just apply our Ninja course test rules as the rule set template we have created. And so we can also disable the web application firewall for this domain pattern. And this means also that for this domain, we will not have web application firewall rules enabled. So if connections come here, they will not be bothered by web application firewall rules. But if they don't, then the normal rule set will take care of it. So let's see it in action. And let's just quickly navigate to this. And as you can see, I have some tests already. But what we will do is we will go to 3.3.3.7 / test equals /etc /passwd, which is /etc /passwd might be familiar because it's the file on your machine that contains all of the login information and users on your machine. So if somebody were to open it, they would have been, they do have a pretty good chance of logging into your machine. So let's say we would like to access this file, which shouldn't be possible. And so we are blocking this request. We have to know that on this occasion, we will not be blocked because we are using a private IP address to access this site from a private IP address to a private IP address. So BitNinja will not block this IP address with web application firewall because, of course, private IP addresses could not connect to the website in the real world. And as you can see, if we just go back, we are free to browse. But this is the screen that a normal hacker would see if they went to hack your website with something and your web application firewall stopped them. And then afterwards, they would see the captcha page pop up, which I will show on my different domain. So hang in there.